Virtualization is changing everything. But the more we consolidate, the more we need to segregate. End-to-end segmentation of network resources is a growing requirement. The rationale ranges from government regulation to departmental preference. And every industry is affected, right? Transportation, healthcare, government, financial, education, you know who you are. Physically unique networks, well, they're not feasible. So virtualizing the network, well, that's the way to go, but the technology just hasn't been simple enough for most of us. It all started strong with VLANs, but that was more about device isolation, and we needed to go beyond layer 2. MPLS and VRF are good attempts, but who can afford to staff up like a service provider? What about VRF Lite, you say? It's all virtual routing instances, however. I mean, think separate routing tables. Look at this. That's the Lite version. Lite must have been a marketing term. What a mess of sub-interfaces. You see, for true network virtualization, in other words, path isolation, we need the simplicity of layer 2 with the controls of layer 3. Well, now we can. Welcome to EVN, Easy Virtual Network. With EVN, all you need is VNet trunk. Cisco EVN is an IP-based virtualization technology that provides end-to-end virtualization of 2 or more layer 3 networks. You can use a single physical infrastructure to provide separate virtual networks with isolated traffic paths. No BGP or MPLS. You use the protocols you already know, like EIGRP or OSPF. Now, this is just one part of EVN. There are more simplifications that make it easy. Now, the main point here, 5 networks shouldn't require 5 times the work. From a coder's perspective, virtualizing the network is not as easy as it may sound. Most folks think it's just a data path, but if that was all we needed, well, we've already got technology in place for that. We are actually virtualizing 3 functional components beyond data path: the control plane, the data plane, and services. To get a real feel for EVN, let's put some packets in motion and see how routing contexts make this simple. First thing we need to do is create our layer 2 VLANs on the 6500 and trunk them to the ASR. Just go into your VRF context and type the command like normal, and remember to leave out the VRF. Remember that VN names are case sensitive. All right? Yeah, looking good. While we're here, let's go ahead and define the other VRF interface on the neighbor router as well. To get these guys talking, we just need to configure all the physical links as VNet trunks using the same 802.1q tag. All VRFs in the VRF definition commands are now running on the trunk interface. Now we need to enable our routing protocol. Each VRF requires its own routing process. This is to allow fine-tuning, but also to limit fate sharing as well. EVN supports OSPF version 2, EIGRP, and static routes on the unicast side, PIM, MSDP, and IGMP for multicast routing. Now we have EVN running end-to-end across the network, managing path isolation between our defined groups. Path isolation is achieved by using a unique tag for each VN. The secret sauce is called the VNet tag. This removes the dependency on each physical interface to provide traffic isolation, which means you don't have to manage the minutiae of 802.1q tags for each interface on the box. The engineer assigns a value to the VNet tag from 2 to 4094. This is a global value, so each VN on an EVN device must be provisioned with the same tag value. By repurposing the .1q tag, we remain backward compatible with VRF Lite. Now, while traffic separation is great, there are some services like firewalling and DHCP, DNS, all those everyone needs access to. It's not practical to build these out for each virtual network, and so you don't have to. I mean, couldn't call it easy, right? EVN allows you to share services between different VRFs. You see, normally access to shared services is accomplished with some form of extranet or fusion router using BGP and BGP attributes like route target and route distinguisher. Well, EVN says that's not easy. Let's handle this through route replication. Well, these features give each EVN direct access to the routing information base. You can easily find the replicated routes in the RIB. They are always the ones marked with the plus sign. And why reinvent the wheel? Now you can just use all your client services across all virtual networks. I believe I've still got a little bit of time to talk about troubleshooting and the monitoring features of EVN. It's really all in the context, the routing context. Since EVN can support up to 32 networks, keeping your VN straight can be a challenge, especially if you're doing a bit of late-night troubleshooting, you know what I mean? Instead of typing VRF keywords or wearing out your history buffer, we make it easy. Get that theme yet? Since each VN is its own network, why not just change your point of view? Routing context mode means now I can enter normal iOS commands into a VN. For example, typing routing context VRF red and see how that changed the prompt? Now just enter your normal commands. Want to see all your red VN routes? Okay. Then a quick show IP route shows routes only in the red VN. Now that you know the pattern, try it on other commands you need, like ping, telnet, traceroute. They're all there. Is this making sense yet? Virtual networks is now easy. You better not be slogging your way through sub interfaces, or worse yet, just giving up because your head hurts. If your head hurts, you're doing it wrong. Fix that. We network guys have never been in a better position to service the segmentation needs of the business. EVN works with your 6K, your 4K, and your ASR, so get on with it. All the latest information and further detail can be found right here.